What's up YouTube? I'm taking you on a training session today. My second week of doing VO2 Max power development session. I did this one last week, I'm gonna repeat it again. It's 5 by 3 minute efforts. I'm doing these over on a hill in the eastern suburbs of Sydney called the Thumper. Last week, I averaged 482 watts across the 3 minute efforts. So this week, the goal is to average higher than that across each of the efforts. Reason for that power target is that I'm actually training for a race coming up called the Tour of Brisbane. In that race is about a 6.5 to 7 minute climb, which is very steep. To do that, I worked out to be in a decent group, I'm gonna need to do at least 6.2 watts per kilo up that climb. So I don't have the fitness to do that yet. I need more watts. I just need the watts. That's why I'm doing 3 minute repeats. Other thing you might be able to tell is that there's a chance it's gonna rain. I've left when it's not raining, but there's a massive chance of rain today. So there's two things I've done. First one is I'm on the gravel bike. It's just safer doing efforts on it. And also on the climb I'm doing, if I'm on the road bike, I'm gonna be able to do the climb faster than 3 minutes. So it's good to be able to do it on the gravel bike to slow me down a bit. I've also oiled my legs. So this is something I usually do when I'm racing, but also if I'm going out and I know I'm gonna get rained on, it helps a bit with motivation to have a bit of oil on the legs. So I've done an Athlete's Gel base just to get a bit of heat, and then Goanna oil, which is an Australian product over the top. Yeah, just a bit of external motivation. And also if it does rain, it just helps keep the grit and the water off the legs. So little tip there, if you're not feeling super motivated to go out when it's raining, put a bit of oil on the legs. It always helps. So that's the roundabout there where the climb starts. Quick chat before I get into my first rep. On my screen, I'm going to be looking at 3 second power, 30 second power, my lap average power, and the lap time there. As you can tell there, no cadence on the head unit. I'm using self-selected cadence. So whatever feels natural, whatever's gonna allow me to get out the most power is what I'm gonna go with. Also doing these efforts seated in the saddle, so I won't stand up in these 3 minutes. Last week when I did this session, I noticed that my breathing was quite restricted in the last minute when I was really getting to that maximal respiration rate. So I've had 2 puffs of my asthma puffer to help open up my airways a bit and help myself breathe at the end of these efforts. Power target as well. Remember, I want to be above 482 watts for each rep. So let's stop beating around the bush. I'm going to spin my legs up for another minute and hit the first rep. Let's see how I go. Oh, other thing, I've got headphones in, but I won't be playing any music for this first rep. I'll leave that for the later reps once the fatigue sets in to give me a bit of extra motivation. So this one, straight off feel, no music or anything to perk me up. That's rep 1 done. I'd rate that about 8.5 out of 10. Solid. I mean, a 3 minute effort at VO2 Max never feels easy, but I wasn't pushing myself that much for that, so that's good. 490 watts for 3 minutes. On to the next one. I will be having about 4.5 minutes rest in between these reps. Alright, that one was a bit harder, probably 9 out of 10. And yeah, the road was a bit busy with traffic. So as you probably saw on the video there at the top, had to squeeze past a few cars. That's all good. If I'm in the middle of an effort, I'm not stopping. I'm finishing it off. So whatever needs to happen, but I'm finishing with 3 minutes. So That was good, 492 watts for 3 minutes. Other tip, so on the rest period here, I got to descend back down another climb. So if you are doing repeats, keep spinning your legs over. It just helps your muscles clear out those waste products from the effort. If you just freewheel down the descent, you'll get that blocked legs. I'm also going to put on some music for this one. Enjoy it. So 2 reps without music. Now go on Spotify and chuck on a playlist. Rep number 3 coming up. All right, that was rep 3, 494 watts. Yeah, we're up in the 9 out of 10s now for effort level, I'd say. These are getting pretty hard. I'm also, so nutrition-wise for this ride, the ride's gonna be about 2 hours long, but it is pretty humid. So I've got a 900 milliliter bottle with 65 grams of sugar in it. That one down there. I've been sipping on that in my rest periods. So just 65 grams of sugar for this session, because it's not that long. So it's 3 p.m. here in Australia. That's why it's so busy with cars, because there's a school at the top of the street, so it's school pickup. And the rain's starting to come in. Yes, getting amongst it. All right, 4th rep done, 492 watts. Yeah, that was hard. That was, 9.5 out of 10, 9 to 9.5. I mean, this is where it gets, well, maybe I'll have a chat about max efforts again.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Live on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Live on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with it. Line for nothing.
Oh, what an incredible view. Actually never been up here before. That is the last effort done there. I mean, that's last effort. I almost died there. I think I just got above 490 for that last rep. I think 491. That's all I had to give. I mean, is that truly a maximal effort? No, I mean, put a gun to my head, I could have sprinted for the last 30 seconds, but for all intents and purposes, that's a maximal or near maximal effort session. So pretty happy with that. But let's just chat about some of the numbers. So I mentioned I did 482 average last week. That was probably 493 average. So I put about 10, 12 watts average on the session. Keep in mind, last week it was I was in the sun, it was probably 30 degrees. So it was a warmer day, which would have brought down my power. And also, because it's only the second time doing these repeats, I will get a power increase just from a learning effect, from repeating the session. Those 10 or 12 watts isn't pure fitness gain. So keep that in mind as well. But what that essentially means is the climbing tour of Brisbane, I'm not gonna have to go up there at 490 watts. So I'm able to repeat now for 3 minutes above sort of my target power for that climb in Brisbane, which, I'll probably end up having to do 450, 460. So what I'll do now to overload that session is I'm not going to keep repeating it. What I'll do is instead of 5 reps, I might do 6 reps or 7 reps at that 480, 490 watts. Or I might find a longer climb and do 4 or 5 minute repeats around that 470, 480 mark. So in terms of overloading the power, the intensity, I think I'm done with that. So for the next few weeks, to get more out of that session, I'll make it more race specific and either do more reps or longer reps. That's how I will progress this work. So that's it. Enough of my rambling. I've got to roll home.